Okay, I guess I'll get to it in a little. Oh, there it is. Okay, I'm just trying to find my live stream. I just like to monitor, monitor the chat if anyone wants to come in. All right. Okay, so I wanted to talk about these goddamn possessed dolls because we're seeing a lot of them, right? And I went through a lot of them, and obviously I talked about Annabelle and some of the other real OGs possessed dolls. And let me turn this music down here. I like my music, but I want to make sure you guys can hear me talking about this stuff, right? So we're gonna start off with Robert, and I'm gonna break out four other dolls that are really ancient. Like we get caught up on, rightfully so. We talk a lot about Annabelle, we talk a lot about Chucky, and I'm telling you, compared to some of these dolls, man, Chucky ain't even in the house, right? Really. So let's talk about this first guy here, and this is Robert the doll, right? And this is, I'm telling you, this is one of the older stories of a possessed doll. Now, Robert, they literally call him a possessed doll. Like where he really comes from is massively under dispute, right? There's a lot of contrary stories about Robert. But here's the thing I'm going to tell you right now, do not disrespect this doll, man. This is at the top of your list, right? I'm going to tell you a lot of stuff about this doll. The main thing is do not disrespect this doll, right? Do not come into his house and piss this doll off because there will be consequences and repercussions, right? He doesn't say it, but he means it. Like in his heart, he's like, if you disrespect the game, there will be consequences and repercussions, right? Epic. It's going to be more than you can handle. So let me tell you a little bit about Robert because this is way before Chucky. Okay, so Robert the doll is what he's known as, and I'm telling you, this story is going to get really nutty really quickly. Okay, now he's known as Robert or Robert Eugene Otto's doll. That's the owner, Robert Eugene Otto. His name is Robert. Now, its doll's name is also Robert, and this is going to be a problem that we're going to talk about later because this doll was tripping from the beginning, okay? So, he is a possessed doll or a haunted object or possibly a territorial spirit attached to this doll, whatever. Whatever, it's problematic, right? It's extremely problematic. Now, this guy comes out, this is American mythology, okay? This is good old American mythology. This comes out of Key West, Florida. And the first appearance or the first time we had a documented story of this guy was back in 1904. This is before my grandpa's, right? It's 1904. Now we know his original owner, who is this Robert Eugene guy, right? His current sanctuary is sanctuary where he's housed at right now is Fort East Martello Museum in Key West. He's really in a museum right now. It's not a joke. This is not a joke right here. Now, what is he all about? Well, he's all about misfortune and retaliation and fear and household disturbances. This is the realm that he operates in. Now, this doll has got a number of powers that have been reasonably observable over the history of this doll's life, right? What can he actually do, right? He has independent movement. He has a vocal manifestation. He has facial transformation, so he can look mad, right? He has technological influence. Somehow he can control technology that this little fucker shouldn't even understand, okay? This is where it's really a problem. He has remote cursing. You don't even have to be in the room for him to put that curse down on you. And we're going to talk about why later as well, right? And he has manipulation of probability. This is a very powerful being. If you really get down to the nitty and the gritty, it's very powerful. Whatever type of spirit is in this little weird looking, this very handsome looking doll. Okay. Now, what are his known like triggers? Well, don't disrespect him. Like the main rule is get permission, right? Permission. Like here's the main thing. Don't talk shit. Okay. Zip it up. Keep your mouth shut, right? If you're in Robert's presence, shut up. Okay? Unless you got something nice. Robert is literally, if you don't have something nice to say, shut your mouth. That's what Robert eventually comes with, right? That's what he means. If you don't have something nice to say, then shut your goddamn mouth. Or Robert's going to shut your mouth for you, okay? Also, he's on display a lot. He's a kind of good-looking guy, got on a nice suit, right? Apparently, people like to take his picture all the time, okay? Which is fine if you have permission, all right? If you don't have permission, like express written condition from the NFL, if you don't have express written permission from Robert to take his picture, I suggest you don't do that, okay? And here's the thing. Okay, so let's talk about Rob. Now, this is before Chucky. This is before Annabelle. This is the OG. He was a life-size supernatural figure that came out of Key West in 1904. He's about 40 inches tall. His body is cloth stuffed with wood wool. He has a faded face, dark bead-like eyes, and a sailor's uniform, which apparently belonged to the original Robert. And the reason I have to say the original Robert is that he took over Robert's identity, right? The owner was a young boy named Robert Eugene Otto, which I stated. Okay? He's known as Gene. He became known as Gene later, right? Because took the identity of Robert. Not only took his fit, he became the identity. This was their relationship. This was the beginning of a transfer of identity. The boy gave the doll his name, and therefore he got to be known by his middle name, which is Gene. So now that's Robert, and now I'm Gene. That I know it sounds nutty, right? So this is like one of the first evidence of like a doll coming and taking somebody's identity, and they will do that shit. I'm telling you, this is like the fourth doll I've talked about where they will come. You worry about identity thieves, you better worry about these doll thieves. They will come and they will take your goddamn identity just like that, and you're not paying attention. He did it, right? So Robert became his constant companion, which is weird, right? Your constant companion. They spoke together. Like Gene was like, yeah, and then I went over there and I was trying to talk to her, how like this girl, right? He dressed him. Like it's weird. He dressed him. He cared for him. He had conversations with him. All this stuff seems fine, right? And then people the Otto household start realizing some shit that was unusual. They started hearing Robert or Gene at this point talking to someone, and you know what they heard? They heard somebody answering back. Except there's nobody in the room except for Gene and Robert. So we start seeing it's a problem, and then the family seeing this stuff. So they start trying to separate him. They're like, what are you doing? You're sitting here talking. You're my kid. I love you. You can have your playtime and all that. But we're not taking this shit too far, right? And this is where it's taking it too far. So this is where the disturbance started happening because Robert didn't like that. Robert didn't like y'all getting all up in Robert Gene's business like that, right? I'm rocking the sailor suit now, right? I'm Robert now, not you, not him. So don't worry about what I'm doing. And if you don't like it, I'm gonna start moving furniture around here. Yeah, because that's what they didn't realize he could do this, but he starts moving furniture around, starts tearing them up, and people start saying, "Who did this shit?" Robert. And that ended all the conversations. Robert did it. For a long time, they didn't believe, but the adults started seeing Robert did it, and they start understanding Robert was doing this. Now, Robert himself, man, it's some sketchiness to his origin. Clearly, this isn't a regular doll, right? Now, in one of the earlier traditions, it says his grandfather was German. He was a German doll. He was purchased in Germany, brought home as a gift, and he had the size constructed. It was designed as a display figure, not even as a plaything, right? So that's one of the traditions. How he gets to be evil, I don't know, but apparently, all right. Here's how this little motherfucker gets evil, right? You got a bunch of black employees working there, and you were treating them poorly. And somehow Robert triggered in with them. Maybe the doll even came from them, or one of these people that you hired that you didn't pay any money to, that you're paying them in ass whoopings, use some of their traditional beliefs and put a spirit in there. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say voodoo because we try to blame everything on voodoo. Anytime we don't understand something, we say it was voodoo. Other people had traditions too, by the way, right? Not just the people of the Caribbean and into the Southern Americas, right? Lots of people have traditions, okay? They all believe in spirits. So I'm not going to leap all this stuff on voodoo like they always try to do because we don't know. But whatever happened, somebody said, I'm getting sick of your shit. I'm going to put this little demon. I'll fix your ass. And they did. So they put Robert in the doll, and now he's there. Now he's awakened, right? The prophecy is realized. Robert is in the doll, just like he always wanted to be. He got his hat on, kind of tilted to the east, a nice suit. He's dapper, and he's chilling. Now, Robert doesn't look like these porcelain dolls that are kind of common for haunting. We're used to seeing that weird, glassy, platinum doll. He doesn't look like that. Robert's body is soft. But he's rigid. His face it's kind of unfinished, right? He doesn't have all the stuff, right? His suit's getting a little dingy, right? But he hangs in there, right? He created a second body for himself by getting clothes. That changed his whole dynamic, right? So he oftentimes has a damn stuffed animal himself. Who gives a doll, by the way? So he has a stuffed animal that he rose with. Now, he may be capable of doing some other things with this doll, animating this doll, or going into this separate. It's a lion doll, right? He's capable of doing this, okay? But let's talk about what this little bastard's real powers are, because this is where he gets scary. He's the first doll in the scene to have independent movement. He can change positions without, like, he doesn't do it in front of you. That's why I always, like, I don't mess with dolls like this, man. I'm telling you, when I met my wife, she had a bunch of weird dolls. She worked for Mattel. My wife used to work for Mattel. Was she still working for Mattel when I met her? I think she had stopped working for Mattel. But my wife had a bunch of dolls at her house, right? She had her own apartment. I was living in the valley. I lived with like 2 or 3 guys. I lived with 2 guys, right? It's 2 of us. So, like, I would drive out. We hang out on the weekend or whatever. I spend the night at her house. And I'm like, you got to get fucking dolls out of here, man. I was completely free. That just shows you how hot my wife was. And I'm willing to deal with these. I'm terrified of dolls. She was like, I don't know what show it was, man. Some kid show. It's a recent show too, man. Like some kid. Anyway, she had a couple of these dolls, and they would talk like, you hit them, and then like they go, I don't know. I'm trying to get what the dolls would say. I can't think of anything, but it was scary as hell. And I'm like, look, I can't keep coming over here, and every time I come over, you got all these weird old dolls all over the bed, like a million of them. And it's because she was getting them. She worked for Mattel, so she had a bunch of stuff. But I'm like, yeah, I'm not messing with this, right? And they can move. I'm not saying that these dolls are moving, but Robert can move. Like, he changed positions. You'd be like, man, what? Who crossed your arms? Because when I left the room, your arms weren't crossed, Robert. Okay, so we need to have a conversation. And again, Robert seems like a reasonable doll if you miss him with the disrespect. As long as you're respectful, it doesn't seem like Robert's a bad. Like, I'm just saying, he gets a little upset when you start like trying to draw him. Like, he got the kid, he got Gene. He identity swapped with Gene. It's done. All right, we gotta give up on Gene. He's already in the hole. After that, we shouldn't have any problems with Robert because you already got what you wanted. Robert can also speak. Like, he can make his voice move around. You'll hear like laughter. You ever be sitting at the crib and you're like, it's fucking somebody in the kitchen? It's not somebody in the kitchen. It's Robert. You think it's a kid giggle in the kitchen? It's not. It's Robert. He's projecting. He's fucking with you, right? And he does this. You look back, you're like, you little bastard. Don't call him a bastard, though. But Robert's doing that because he can project. He can change his expression. I know he doesn't have a look on his face, right? But he can give you a look, man. And like sometimes you'll be like, yeah. Like, is he staring me down? Because he'll be staring you down. This is what he is. Now, here's the doozy. This is where you don't want that problem with Robert, man. This is where Robert starts to get into something super extra dimensional, right? Robert has the ability to manipulate misfortune, okay? Your misfortune specifically, okay? Remember what I said? Don't take his picture without permission and don't show no disrespect. Let's suppose that you've done these things, right? And Robert has to determine that you're worthy of his punishment. Uh-oh, you didn't even want that, right? And now you got it. This could be car accidents, mechanical failures, all your stocks crash, you get fired from your job, your hot girlfriend breaks up with you, you get beat down by some dudes on a basketball court randomly, you suddenly get sick, you keep having all this bad luck. That's Robert. That's him doing it. That's what he was like, yeah, take my picture again, motherfucker. Right? Do it again and see what happens. That's him. So he doesn't do like a physical attack on you. He's not that kind of guy, man. You do something to Robert, he's going, oh, okay. That he doesn't even respond. He doesn't get mad. He doesn't say that. He's like, yeah, okay, all right. And then all of a sudden your life is jacked up. That's Robert, right? We're going to talk about how to get back. Now, he also, his house is not, his power, it ain't limited to his house. Okay? Which is why I'm cautious about how I'm speaking on him right now. Because he's got remote power. When you enter a relationship with him, I got bras who I'll get you anywhere you go, right? You better make it right. This is his words, not mine, okay? Now, Robert can also kind of perceive the intentions of people. When you come in, he's sitting there. I know he looks all cool. He's just like, yeah, I'm chilling. I'm sitting up here, right, with my sailor suit on. He's judging you. Yeah, he's clocking your movements, how you move, how you speak, what your attitude is, right? He's like, don't come in here with that negative attitude, right? Because if you do, it's going to be a problem, right? Now, here's the thing. Like, here's the rule one. If you want to make it good with this guy, if you come in, greet Robert, okay? Just be like, hey, what's up, little Rob, right? What up, little homie? Give him a little dap up. If you need to take a picture of him, which I don't know why you want a picture of. You got to take a selfie. Ask him first. Hey, look, Rob, is it cool, man? Can I get this selfie with you right quick, homie? It's just going to play well on social media, man. I just want people to know I know you. You know what I'm saying? I want to post and be like, yeah, I'm kicking it with Robert. Me and Robert up here doing crime together, my crime. Whatever it is, ask permission first, okay? Also, respect his damn territory. Respect wherever he's at. Where like he's in the museum right now, wherever he is, that's his spot, okay? And when you roll in there, you're coming in as a visitor. So what I suggest you do is zip it up and put on your big boy pants called respect, right? And if you should violate one of Robert's rules, ask for forgiveness. This is where Robert seems completely reasonable to be. He may jump off on you, for some odd reason, but if you write, he likes written letters. He's old school. He's born in 1904. This guy's from 1904. He didn't even know what an email is, right? So you're going to have to write a letter, right? Dear Robert the Great, I am so goddamn sorry for the disrespect that I put upon you when I took your picture without your permission, Robert. And I would beg you to forgive me because I have learned the error of my ways. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm a better person for it, Robert. You put me through some stuff, and now I'm a better person for the curse that you put on me. I want to thank you for, it's time to get the curse off because I learned my lessons about respect. I never would take somebody's picture without asking their permission again, Robert. Thanks to you. I learned that lesson from you. So can you please get this curse up off my head, right? And it seems like he will do it. He seems very reasonable if it's a sincere apology. Now, the way to avoid this, don't come over there tripping. And don't be like, oh, let me take a picture of me. He's like, no, I don't really feel like taking a picture. If he's like, I feel like taking a picture, don't do it, right? This is the age of consent. Consent matters for more things than just inside of your bedroom, right? This is consent in a respectful world. So that's who Robert is, okay? Now, here's the thing. He's old school, right? Now, Robert's been around since 1904, and we've heard stories about Robert as frequently as 1994. I know that's like 30 years ago, but relative to his history, this guy is pre my grandpa, and he's still around. My grandpa's been gone for a long time, right? So this is who Robert is. He's very old school. You can highly recommend. Now, first of all, he's going to have that sailor suit on. I don't think he's changed. So if you see an old-ass doll, I didn't mean an old-ass doll, homie. I simply meant like a 1904 era doll wearing a sailor suit, which nobody wears sailor suits anymore, right? If you see him wearing a sailor suit, don't laugh. Give him his respect, dap him up, say respect his presence. He's in that museum. Be respectful in the museum. That's the entire museum. Don't start talking shit just because you went to the other section. Wait until you are done and still don't talk shit. There's no reason to talk shit about Robert, right? Because in the end, you ain't him. You ain't on his level, man. And, here's the thing. He's got a gas case. They have some of his documented letters. People have written him letters of apology. Those are in the case that he's at. So this is not me making stuff up, right? This is real mythology about Robert. And I just knew by your name, Robert. I have an uncle named Robert. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's terrible. It's the worst thing ever happened to his family, okay? Robert. Everywhere I go, Roberts are the worst thing ever, right? Robert Parrish. I hate that guy, right? So he's the OG. So before there was Annabelle, before there was any of that stuff, there was him. He was right there. This household spirit, this offended deity, like you get mad and stuff all the time. And the psychological meaning is like, it's very different, man. We have a very, very strange relationship with dolls. I never mess with dolls, okay? I'm telling you guys, I've been freaked out behind dolls my entire life. I never want something where I could see you watching me, but yet you don't make any expressions. I don't like any of that. And that's what it is. You take a doll, you feed him, right? You have your kids do it. You feed the doll, you clothe the doll, you be combing its hair, but then when the doll starts acting like an actual person, now you got a problem with it, right? How about not teaching your kids to start talking to inanimate objects like they have a soul inside of them, and you'll stop having these problems, right? So because this isn't the only one. I'm telling you, there is a whole slew of dolls that I didn't even know we needed to be worried about, but we have to be worried about it. And I'm worried about it because nobody else is. None of you guys are talking about all these goddamn dolls that are out here that are just jacking people's lives up until it's too late, right? So let's move on to the next doll here that you got a problem with, right? Now, this one, if you thought that it was just an American thing, that we were the only ones who had problems with our dolls being haunted, no, right? Okiku, right? Am I saying that right? Okiku. I hope I'm saying it right because I don't want no problems with her either, man. Like, obviously, this is another spirit-inhabited doll. Now, this comes to us from Hokkaido, Japan, right? So completely different traditions. welcome Japan into the house as well, right? And they got a lot of mysterious stories over there in Japan too. And you can see this doll right here. Yeah, she looks like she's gonna be a problem. She's got a face in her expression in her face, and it does not look happy. So what we know about this doll is that this is a deceased child. Okay, she's actually kept in a temple right now. Okay, you can go visit this. Why you would want to, I have no idea. But she's literally kept in a temple right now, and she's known to be the deceased child. She was a deceased child, Okiku. Okay, now what she has, among other things, is supernatural hair growth. Because you know what? The doll's hair doesn't stop growing. Yeah, I know. First of all, it's a doll and she can grow hair. And then the fact that it will not stop. This is supernatural hair growth. Now, she's been around since like 1918. It's the first stories that we heard about her. Now, this person's young man, Ikichi Suzuki. I can say Suzuki, right? I have some friends that were Suzukis from my hometown, all right? So I can say Suzuki. They purchased this traditional doll as a gift for his little sister, okay? Uh-oh. Now, his sister, Akoki, she loved the doll. She carried it with her, and this was like her constant companion, okay? Now, she died very tragically. Very tragically. She dies as a very young child. A terrible tragedy for the family. Now, the grieving family takes the doll and they put her near a memorial altar, allowing it to represent the child that had been taken from them. Wrong. Wrong. This is already a problem because the doll's like, oh yeah, I'll take you spot. Now here's the thing. Now when this really happened, she had a bob. Yeah, she had a little short bob. You know how girls get the nice little bob cuts to be right about their ears, real cute, right? Dark hair girls got the straight, real cute, right? She had the bob, she was rocking it, right? It started growing. That you can see the hair now. She no longer has a short bob haircut. She's got long hair because the doll's still alive, right? So this is where it's my problem. The family believes that Okiko had entered into the doll's body, which I'd have been like, baby girl, don't spend your life trapped in this doll body. Go on and see what you're supposed to see out there, right? Don't do it. But nevertheless, here we are, right? Now, she is a traditional doll who is made to resemble a young lady, like a little cute, chic little girl, right? Nice big eyes. So that's what she looks like. Her eyes, however, very dark. They're very watchful and judgy like a motherfucker, right? She is constantly judging you, right? And she has this human hair that just keeps on growing. Now, over the years, we've seen outside of her magical hair growth, what else can she really do? Well, let's talk about it a little bit here, right? Because she is a spirit vessel. The doll contains or houses the living essence of this child. It functions more this is more than just like a haunt. This has become a second body to which the dead can come back. Why she's got beef, I don't know. I don't know if she does have beef. I don't know if this little girl is just mad, right? We're going to find out. She can also communicate with you through your dreams, which is fucked up. I hate anybody coming to my dreams. That's my off time, okay? Dream time is the main time I'm not taking calls from anybody. You better not call me during my dream. You have no idea what I'll be dreaming about. And she doesn't care. She communicates with you through your dream. She has persistence magnification. That means time, relocation, prayer, and repeated haircuts do not remove the doll. Nothing has been able to get this doll out of this body, right? We know this, right? She also has the ability to emotionally bond. She's very manipulative, especially with little children. They can get you in a bond. Now, her behavior is, she's not really murderous or openly malicious. It's just kind of creepy. She doesn't really want to hunt victims. She just wants to continue. She wants to keep going. So she represents a child who died, who didn't completely leave. So this is kind of what's going on. As long as you take care of this is her limitations. As long as you ritually take care of her, handle her respectfully, observe all the religions, everything should be fine, right? Yeah, she's the girl's in there that she's always going to be. You can't defeat her. She got the little girl. I think the little girl wants to be there, and she figured out she's got powers too. So she ain't going nowhere, right? So you cannot defeat this demon. You can't. She's not a demon, so you can't really like what. You sure you want to excise this little girl out of a doll body where she found some sanctuary at? So that's kind of the issue that we have in here. She's not really, she's not murderous. And I don't even know any stories about her messing people up. It's just kind of creepy. But that's overall what's going on with her, right? You can't get her out. And I don't even know at this point if you really want to try. That's her story, okay? Now, the next one here, we got, went back to Robert. Didn't want to go back to you, Robert. I'm so sorry. Yeah, this goddamn Mandy, okay? Let's talk about this goddamn Mandy so we can understand who this goddamn Mandy is, okay? Now, Mandy is a doll who refused companionship. Yeah, yeah, she was like, right there, buddy, right? I'm not going home with anybody. She is also a spirit inhabited porcelain doll, looking like Uncle Fester, right? The bald head and everything. She comes from either England or Germany. We're not sure, but we know that she's European. You ain't one of ours. This is not our problem. UK, you need to take care of your problem. Get your possessed doll out of here, man. What's wrong with you guys? Right? Okay, but they don't do that. Now, she was first appeared somewhere between 1910 and 1920. So you see, in the early 1900s, man, they was making a lot of possessed dolls. I don't know if it was a business, but they were sure racking them up. Right now, she's in a museum in Canada, okay? So she's relatively safe. She's an old porcelain doll. Earliest history is kind of obscure, but she came into possession of a Canadian woman who inherited from her granddaughter. Now, once Mandy entered this woman's home, you start hearing the sound of a crying baby all around the house. And you're like, what the hell? There's no baby in this house. But you hear a baby in the basement. This goes on until Mandy's actually removed from the house. So we can see her. Like Mandy, like that's kind of as bad as it gets, but that's bad enough for me. Like you're not supposed to be able to do anything. So you look at Mandy, she got a cracked dome, bald head, no hair, right? Worn out, dirty dress, right? Large eyes, and apparently his eyes will be following you around the room as well. Now, her powers is that of a disembodied crying. She can make people cry. She can move objects around and things like that. She's got maybe some telekinesis, visual tracking. Like I said, this bitch be watching you, man. You be like, yeah. You can see her eyes. She's like, yeah. So she's got that ability. She also can like, most time people get a doll and you're like, yeah, I'm your owner, doll. You roll. She has the ability to say, nah, not you, son. She's that powerful, and you don't want to try and force her, right? So this is how you got to do. Like if you roll with her, you got to keep her isolated. You have to keep her away from other people. Keep her happy. Keep the spot clean, like they do. I don't know why they put it on display like this, because this could be the issue. This could be where it jumps off. But ordinarily, for all of her power, she's very, very reasonable possessed toy. Now we get into another, right? Let me out. Let me out. No jokes here, man. The Wandering Child. This is one of the scariest stories I've ever had. This is a inhabited wooden doll, right? Now it's getting even creepier. This is like an evil Pinocchio, right? Now this doll comes from New South Wales in Australia. And he first came out 1972. Me and him are the same age. Rapid Gen X, right? So he's approximately... he was discovered in 1972, but he's much older, potentially even 200 years old. And it's said he was recreated from an unidentified boy who drowned, became his basis. Now, his threat level is moderate and also extremely unpredictable. He's under active surveillance now. So once they see the name, he starts doing stuff around the house, man. Flexing his telekinesis, moving stuff around, rearranging the furniture, all that stuff, right? So he's totally doing it, right? And we see it's a problem. It is some anger issues there because the madder he gets over any form of disrespect, like you're going to be mad. I wouldn't even go over his house because I feel like there's no way I can be respectful enough for this to not be an issue. So he's got independent movement. He's got animal disturbances. Like he can fuck with animals as well. They make dogs bark. Like dogs and stuff start going crazy when they see this dog. He can manipulate objects. He has atmospheric influence, so he can control disturbances in the house. He can control, not just knocking stuff over, but rain clouds, things like that. He also has ability over that kind of stuff. Now, looking at this guy, he's got some emotional projection. He recognizes spirit. There's a lot going on. This is just like a basic thing in a doll. He has a connection with water. Heavy rains may strengthen his manifestations. Now, he's also a protective guardian. Some people see him as a protector. I see him as a crazy little psychopath doll who will kill you. So that's what we got to know about this dude. Like, he's been around for a while. Again, that independent movement. This is before 1920, so let's get back to the late 1800s when this doll first came on the scene. And I love this doll, man. Scares the hell out of me. The Wandering Child. Don't play around. Now we get into it. Now we get into it. Peggy, the doll who reaches through the screen. Who the fuck gave her this name? Now, she is what is called a telepresent spirit vessel. Okay, so we've got plenty of vessels that has come, and this thing's in the UK too. You guys got a shocking amount of these possessed dolls over there. I would give us a bit of attention, mate, because right now, oh no, they've got her here in Las Vegas, Nevada, at a museum. Okay, now she was owned by paranormal investigator Jane Harris. She has remote influence through photographs and video. Her threat level is high. They're not bullshitting about this, right? Now, status right now, she's physically contained and digitally uncontained. She goes all the way back to her public history. Like, we don't know a lot about her, but we see some original images in the early 1920s of her after she got adopted. Now, what does she do to you, right? Yeah, man, this is a psychomatic assault. You get headaches from her, right? You get nausea, dizziness, and anxiety gets real high. Your chest pain starts to increase. So she's attacking you. She's also going to bust into your dreams, make you start seeing stuff you did. Like, I do not look. If you come in my dreams and you do not bring Sanaya Lathan, then get the fuck out of here, right? Somehow she can affect technology, right? She has control of the environment. She can communicate with directly. She can, she's like behaviorally. She doesn't need to walk across the room, but she does things that kind of manipulate. She gets people to carry her around the room. So a great little doll. Like, we know about transmissions of dreams, transmission of spirit. This is what happened there. Where the original little girl went, I don't know, but they replaced her, and it's like, I'm really sorry, man. I'm really sorry, but damn, did you have to turn into this doll? Which she did, I guess. But she ain't the only one. She ain't the only one you guys got to be looking out for. And I'm telling you, some more of these dolls out here, okay? All right, come on, give me this one. What's going on here? Oh, no, come on. Okay, I'm going to have to, let me see. Let's see if I can get my slideshow accurate. Let's go. Oh, that's not what I want. All right, let me go to my slideshow and see if I can get. It doesn't want to advance. Let's see. Come on now. Oh, yes, there we go. Okay. So Peggy's the last one I got on the list today. So we've talked about like 5 of these really nutty demons. Let me see if I went through everybody properly. Right, I got Peggy. You don't want to work. Okay, Peggy. Yeah, Mandy. Yeah, okay, all 5. So these are the 5 primary like possessed demons. Now the list goes on and on and on of really possessed demons that are dangerous. But these guys, I'll take you all the way back to the early 1900s. Robert's the main one you want to be looking for and avoiding them. But I'm telling you, if you go back, Peggy, she's also extremely dangerous. All of them are pretty much dangerous. Like, Okiku, she just seems like she's going to cry about stuff, but she doesn't seem like she's really trying to hurt anybody, right? So I'm going to dip right now. I just wanted to bring this in, introduce it. I'm going to get myself a little bit of lunch, and then I'm going to prep another Myth Lab, and I'll be back on this afternoon.